Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suhey with Suhey Plans, and today I'm excited to share with you what's going to be one of the newest additions to my planner stack for the second half of 2024, quarter three, the Mom Agenda in the Home Office Edition. I was so generously gifted this planner by Nina, the founder, creator, and president of Mom Agenda. I was really attracted to the design, the aesthetic, and the functionality of this planner. And I'm intending to use it for home and family planning. Let's jump right in. I'm going to take you through the planner cover to cover and then just talk to you a little bit about my intentions and why I thought it was a worthwhile addition to my stack. So this color, and I know they might not be coming off too clearly, but this is the chambray color, which is kind of like a light denim or medium denim blue. The Mom Agenda title and dates are on the front. Very minimal in like a gold foil, and I added my family's, our last name also in gold foil at the bottom. I think that's a nice personalization touch that you can add. And it comes with these like nice gold rings, not like too bright, and they really coordinate well with the logo. And I believe, yeah, there is nothing on the back. The cover is a actually waterproof coated book cloth that has like a linen-y feel. It's actually quite lovely. The cover comes in 5 colors. I think in hindsight, I wish I would have picked up something a little bit more richer, but this is still a beautiful color, and I think the 5 options, you're gonna find something that you like as well in those options. The size, now this is a big planner. This is a big girly. She is measuring 11 by 9 inches. So even larger than a printer size piece of paper. And then of course that doubles when you have her open and on your desk. As the name implies, home office edition, I really do believe that this is something that just stays at home and on a desk. This planner runs from July 2024 to August 2025. I think that extra month is really handy, especially as a busy parent when we're transitioning in July and August to the school year. I think it's just handy to have that extra month before you have to move into something else. The personalization, the planner itself costs $46. And the personalization is $9.95, and that is in gold and silver, and you get 3 font types to choose from. This planner has a 70-pound cream colored paper. Okay, so those are the overall specs. Let's jump inside and look at the actual book. All right. So on the left-hand side, you have a very, very, very generous pocket. You can fit a lot there, all kinds of papers. You have a let me straighten that out. You have a nameplate page on the right for your name, address, and phone number. Right away, you can kind of see that creaminess to the paper. Let's see if I have a Hobonichi notebook here. That might not be a good comparison. Let's see. Okay, this is like the back of a sticky notes pad, and you can really see this is like a true white, and this paper is definitely a cream. You get kind of the copyright information on the left, and then a little bit of an introduction to Nina, her product, her brand. Something that I highlighted here that I thought was important to point out was, that Mom Agenda uses a unique format to help track the multiple schedules that we all manage each day. I think that's really, for me, what interested me in this planner is being able to track what everybody's doing. I can always track what everybody is doing. Like, I have no problem tracking what my kids are doing, where my husband is, but we're not always able, or it's not as easy to communicate amongst one another. So my goal is to be able to extend kind of the organization, the planning, the communication, so that everybody is aware of what's going on and when. So that kind of really resonated me from her introduction, and which is why I was so interested in collaborating. After that, you get a 2-page spread with how to use the book, which I think is very handy. And really, this is just an example. There are really a plethora of ways that you might want to consider using this planner. Now, this is a large book, so, I apologize if I can't get too close, and I'll try to zoom in where I think it might be the most relevant. So after these introductory pages, we jump into what is called an Essentials tab. The Essentials tab has, I think, some really important things to have in one place related to family members' information, including work address, phone, faxes, child's names, their school, the school's phone number, other important numbers for friends and neighbors, emergency contacts, babysitters' names, favorite kids' attractions. There's kind of like a plethora of things. Our favorite takeout, delivery, restaurants. I think, salons, so I think this is a great place to keep all that kind of information. Important phone numbers, including contractors, cleaning services, snow removal, our accountant, lawyer, etc. All of that information kind of goes in this Essentials tab at the beginning of the planner. I really liked the access to this kind of information, especially when I think about a babysitter coming over. I can just have this out for our babysitter, and in the case that anything happens or there's any kind of situation, this is a wonderful reference for anyone who's, interacting or spending any time with our family. We continue on to car information, websites, and passwords. Not quite sure if I'll use that, to be very honest with you, but I think that's okay. And you know what? I take that back. Sometimes for maybe the kids, the portal to their medical information, that's something that dad might not have saved on his computer. So I might write that here, right? So there are a lot of ways that I can use. And I think all of this information in the Essentials pages are really, really handy. We continue into the adults' medical information. And then kids' medical information. I think this is really awesome too. God forbid anything were to happen, to kind of have this, you kind of just grab and go, especially for a babysitter, or if mom is watching the kids one night and something goes wrong. I really think it's just awesome that we can have a place to store all that information. It's one of those things that you don't realize you need it until the unfortunate happens. So that was something that really attracted me to this planner. And to be very honest, all of this information does not exist cohesively in one location, in one place in my home. So that's a very attractive feature for me. All right. After that, we have birthdays and anniversaries. This is something that I thought was really nice. We also have the gifts that you get for each of the anniversaries, then the zodiac system symbols and birth zones. This is just very, very sweet. My husband and I are going into our 9th year wedding anniversary. China and pottery as the gift. We'll see. I don't know if that's his vibe quite necessarily so, but I think it's just nice to see that there. It's just a very, very clearly a family-oriented planner, which of course is awesome. And as a person with a family, it's right up my alley. All right. After included in the Essentials tab are holidays for 2024 through 2026, as well as a plethora of other kinds of observances, including the first day of fall, some Canadian holidays, which I think are really handy as well. And we get 3 years worth of that. Tax day, love that. So I think that's really handy to have as well. After that, this is our last spread in the Essentials tab. We have a 2024 and a 2025 full view yearly calendar and a Monday start on for both calendars. So those essentials I think are very aptly named. These are essentials, and I thought that this was something really handy and something that made this planner very special. All right, so now we're jumping into the planner itself. We get tabbed monthly pages with very clear font, easy to read, laminated tab, and we have a 2-page spread with a Monday start with ample room in each of these boxes, and they are lined. So you can really like squeeze in a lot of information into one box. You can see that holidays are in here, observances as well. And then you get a little bit more of the following month as well as room on the left hand side for notes, the month prior and the month following in the header at the top. And then there are quotes for each month, which I think is a very nice touch and something that I really like. I really like that kind of just that typography and, you know, the affirmations and the very inspirational quotes. I think that's something that I really enjoy seeing in a planner. So, I mean, this thing is huge, right? You can squeeze so much and write really big so everyone in the family can see what's going on. And this is something that's going to live on my kitchen counter in a book stand. There goes some thickness while we have it propped up. But it's just, you know, it's big, it's wide. I think the cream paper is an asset in this case, especially because there are several eyes on this planner every day, and cream paper is a little easier on the eyes. After our 2-month spread, we then jump into our weekly spread. Again, we have a Monday start. We also get the holidays written in during the week. We continue to have the 2 calendars. I don't know that I'll use them all the time, but you know, this header has a lot of space. I don't mind the calendars being used there. On the left-hand side of the page, you'll have a Monday start, a section for an overall like weekly overview, and then you have 4 boxes for children or really pets or anything else. I'll definitely be using one of these for my husband, just something for him to note. And then there's a space for dinner at the bottom, which is nice because the question of what's for dinner is just, it gets exhausting, y'all. Just refer to Mom Agenda, okay? That's what I want to do. I can't wait to be able to say that. So I really think that this is handy, and you can use it in a variety of ways, but I really do intend to use it as kind of prescribed, so to speak. You have like an ample box with lines as like the weekly overview or the day's overview. And then you have boxes laid out for kids and then a dinner space at the bottom of each column. I think there's a lot of flexibility with this. You don't have to use this necessarily for children. You can use this to divide it into, you know, different sectors of your life. Or this could be like social media where you have an Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. Of course, I am doing like a very as prescribed use of this planner. Our inspirational quotes continue on the weekly page as well, which I think is awesome. The days and the numbers are easy to read, very large, and I think great for a family. You know, where a lot of eyes are on this particular book each day. And what's nice is that you do have your weeks following along consecutively with your month. So there's July, then you have the first full week in July. Wow, it starts on a Monday. Second week of July, third, fourth week of July, and then you jump into your next month on 2 pages following the same kind of format. I took a few moments to kind of show you what things would look like for me in using this planner. folds over very nicely, which I appreciate. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So we've got, I would use this weekly box as a way to just denote some important things to keep in mind for everyone in the family to keep in mind for the week that we're in. An important birthday. Maybe there's some repair happening. We're not going to have hot water. We need to RSVP for that birthday. Things that are related to everyone that we need to kind of consider for the week. In this box right here, I'm planning, at least for summer, to just put in a schedule for my kids' activities while they're out of school. We're going to do snack time here. We're going to work on some math and science worksheets, etc. And just give the kids and my husband an idea for what the day is going to look like. They really thrive on structure. They're not old enough for planning on technology. My children are under the ages of 8, but they can read. So we think that this is a good alternative until they get a little older, and I'm sure they'll want their own smartphones then. After that, I have the first kid space I'll probably skip so I can fit a longer list for the day. And then I'll use the bottom 2 sections for my daughter and my son. And then something for my husband will be the third box. And then I'll just write dinner as prescribed at the bottom there. I think this is a good place for reminders. Like, my son is notorious for forgetting to put on his helmet when he rides a bike. If we're riding our bikes and getting active at 9:30, I want to make sure he remembers to put on his helmet. And I think the fact that this is his box every day, he'll really be paying attention to that as well. Oh, let me zoom back out. Okay, so that's kind of what I am envisioning for this planner for the summertime. And then I think for once we get into the school year, really the information in here is going to revolve around school. What activities are going on, if there's any special events, presentations, projects, any volunteering that we might be doing, doing teacher lunches or what have you, after school activities, etc., birthday parties, all of that kind of routine stuff. So I'm not envisioning like a particular schedule here, but there will be notes for every day. Let's say dad is going to be out of town. My husband travels once a week, a month for work. This is something that I can lay out here. Hey, everybody, this is when dad's out of town. That means you're helping mom out a little bit more. You're lifting a little bit more than usual. And I just think this will be a great way to communicate with everybody in the fam. So we have August. And again, things just continue in that same format. So I won't go through all of these in too much more detail. But you kind of get the gist. And then you have like several tabs because this planner goes on for over a year's worth of time. Okay, so let's flip all the way to the last month. Again, you get that extra August in there. And my children start school in August. And it's also a really busy, crazy, hectic time. So I really appreciate getting a little bit of wiggle room and flex in between summer break and the school year so that I can give myself some time to transition into a new book. So I really do appreciate the August of it all. So then after that, we have a note section. And oh dear, the note section has 21 lined pages, folks, 21. And these pages are massive. I would recommend, just putting some lines down the middle or vertically and just breaking up the page into sections, because I know this large page can feel overwhelming to use. So maybe breaking it up could be handy, but I think this is ample amount of space. Something you could also do is like if you wanted to refer to like a chore chart, or you want to refer to, maybe there's some additional directory information that wasn't included in the essentials section. This is the perfect place for that here. So we've got all of that. Oh, and last but not least, I did a pen test. I love a good pen test. Let me zoom in a little bit as well. So I did a pen test here with several gel pens. highlighters, and then some of my favorite, let me just lower that a little bit, some of my favorite fountain pens, and even one of my favorite stamps. And the paper performed really well. There was very little, there's pretty much no feathering with the fountain pens. There was no bleed through with any of the highlighters or pens. I will say that there was a little bit of show through, especially with those zig dot markers. It's hard to find a paper that like will accommodate those markers, to be frank. But I think that's fine. It's not a deal breaker at all. The Tombos did a little bit less see-through. They showed a little less than the mild liners. And the really thick pens in the 0.5 kind of showed a lot. But again, no bleed through. But if you're not into like too much shadowing, then I would go with probably like a 4 or a 3/8. So you don't get as much of that see-through. But otherwise, it performed really well. And I love the fact that the fountain pens performed so well as well. I think that is awesome. In the back, you have another, let me zoom out, my apologies. In the back, you have another gusseted pocket with, again, ample space for documents, paperwork, or what have you. And that, my friends, is the mom agenda. Let me flip it this way, double coil. I am really excited about using this. I think my family will really benefit from a little bit more structure and just knowing what's going on in advance. I think it'll really help me, y'all. Like, it will help me. Like, let's be real. If my family can kind of communicate a little better, support me and help just operate things a little bit better, it really supports me as mom in just getting everything done and doing all the things that moms do. So I'm really excited to jump into this. A few last things that I'll say. I really do hope that this helps with the communication in my household. I hope that this will help keep folks accountable, that everyone just does their part. And, again, my children are young. They're not digital. They're not in the digital spaces yet, but they can read, and they get really excited about seeing what's going on in the month ahead. And I have it in my planner, but I wanted to share more of that organization and communication with my family as a whole. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. I'm definitely excited to jump in and start using it for the summer, and I definitely intend on coming back on here and sharing brand new planner to my stack. And I really do hope that this is like a long-term addition because I think my family would really benefit from it. Thank you so much, Nina, for your generosity in allowing me to share this product. I am really loving it and really excited. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And please don't hesitate to drop any comments you might have or questions below. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.